From the smell of fried foods to crowded streets and sidewalks filled with endless shops and tchotchkes, this town bears the namesake to many, but promises a more exhilarating experience than any other tourist city could.
Welcome to Chinatown, New York. This is Canal Street. Believe it or not, this used to be an alleyway which held stagnant water which was left over from draining a pond not too far from here, right here in Chinatown.
Just a few feet away from Little Italy lies the vibrant, concentrated little city filled with so much history. Chinese history has long been a part of American history, but even more specifically, the history of New York City, dating back to the late 1800s. The larger part of this town was made up of water from a large pond that served as a drinking source for its citizens.
Behind me is Collect Pond Park, sort of replica to pay tribute to what used to be here. But this entire area was actually a pond and a drinking source for residents of this area. The pond was drained, and what is now known as Canal Street was built to funnel the water all the way to the Hudson River.
Due to its contamination and disruption, which contributed to sickness and diseases, the pond was drained and filled in. Tenements were built to house more residents, and a prison and a courthouse was added.
This area is famously known as Five Points, and it used to be a notorious gang area in the late 19th century, early 20th century.
Although it's the most popular area for Chinese immigrants today, they were not always welcome. During the 19th century, Chinese immigrants endured a lot of discrimination from Americans who claimed that the Chinese were stealing their jobs. Many Chinese immigrants came to the U.S. to help build the Transcontinental Railroad and work during the Gold Rush. Despite their contribution, there was a Chinese Exclusion Act set in place which prohibited Chinese immigrants from becoming citizens. In the heat of all of this discrimination, some Chinese immigrants formed gangs to protect themselves from Irish and Italian gangs. One street in particular was Dwyer Street, known as the Bloody Angle. It would have Chinese gang members waiting in the corners, guarding themselves from surprise attacks from other gangs. In the 1960s, the Hart-Celler Act was introduced to remove race-based initiatives against immigrants. To this day, New York holds the largest population of Chinese American immigrants in the Western Hemisphere. Today, this area looks a lot different than it once did, but the streets and alleyways still have plenty of character and hold a lot of history. Five Points is now Columbus Park, and the Tombs Prison is now Collect Pond Park, named after the pond that was once located in the same area.
I'm standing right in front of Columbus Park. Right across the street is the courthouse. You might be thinking that it looks familiar, and that's probably because you've seen it in episodes of Law & Order SVU. If you're ever in Chinatown, book a tour because the history that you find here is really, really rich.
Be sure to visit the Museum of Chinese in America. Also visit the store Wing on Wo & Co., which is quite possibly the oldest establishment in this area, seeing that it was built in the early 1800s. And lastly, please visit some of the other popular sites mentioned in the video. Until next time, happy traveling!